I'm Gary DeMar, president of American Vision, and one of the projects that American Vision is involved in is the republication of the Geneva Bible, and we are involved in the 1599 reprint edition. And this particular Bible is unique in its history, in that it was designed by those Christians who were thrown out of England as a result of Bloody Mary's persecution, and ended up in Geneva. And from that we got an English translation of the Bible that was used by those who came to Jamestown and those who came on the Mayflower in 1620. It was the Bible that William Bradford used. And if you've ever seen the painting of the embarkation of the Pilgrims, you'll see in the center there where Bradford is holding a copy in his lap of the Geneva Bible. And this particular Bible was not looked at fondly by King James because he didn't like some of the notes in the Bible. Well, this particular edition that American Vision is offering is a brand new in terms of its construction, also in terms of the new typesetting. It's a modern font. All the notes are there. They're all placed at the bottom of the page, which is typical of study Bibles. This was, in fact, the first, what we would call study Bible. It was also the first Bible that had chapter heads and as well as verses. But what I want to talk a little bit about is the construction of this particular Bible and Bibles in general today. A lot of Bibles, this is a good example of it. If you're not familiar with the way Bibles are constructed, this is essentially a glued binding. And over time, these individual pages can come out of a Bible. In fact, a lot of paperback books, and this is just one example of that. This particular, you may have had this happen to you. You're reading along in a book, and all of a sudden, the pages start coming out. They were glued in, and the glue got brittle, and the pages fall out, and you're left with a book that the spine is broken and so forth. Now, the almost all paperback books today have a glued binding. But what a lot of people don't know is a lot of hardbacks, in fact, I would say probably most hardbacks, have a glued binding, but they are sold as hardback books. So you're paying hardback prices for what is essentially a paperback book. But one of the unique things about the Geneva Bible that we are offering is that it has a very specific type of binding, and that is the Geneva Bible is sewn in signatures. And let me demonstrate for you what happens when a book is being printed. This is essentially a sheet of paper. And consider this as a printing. What happens at a printing press today? Every page on a book, what used to be, especially when the Geneva Bible was done, the Gutenberg Bible, every page had to be typeset by hand, and they were put in kind of blocks. And they didn't print just one page at a time, but they printed multiple pages at the same time, front and back. And this did a number of things. First, it made it a whole lot more time efficient in order to print like that. And secondly, it also developed a very good way of constructing a Bible so it stayed together. And so let me show you what this would have looked like. This is that same sheet, and the pages would have been laid out like this. And so here you see page 1 is here, and you see some of these pages are upside down. And then when you turn it over, you find this on this side. And so this is the way it would be printed in. They would print this side first. Each one of these boxes is a page. They would then turn it over, and they would print this side. And then this would be folded, and you have a little book. The problem is you have these rounded edges here, you've got rounded edges here, and rounded edges here, and they would then trim this top. They would trim here, and then they would trim here, and this would then result in a mini book. This is called a signature, and it is from the Geneva Bible. And so these little booklets, you can see how they were put together, and it has a rounded edge to it. When they are combined, it would look like this. Then these would be sewn together. Little holes would be poked all the way through this, and this would be hand sewn in order to keep this together. The pages could not be pulled out because this was sewn together in this particular way. And this is what you would get. You can see the individual signatures here, and then you can see the threading that they would have to put in here in order to tie it all together. You don't find this on modern books, but this is the way older books were done. These are called raised bands, and these are the threads that were pulled in order to keep all these signatures together. And I'll give you an example of this. This is what the Geneva Bible would have looked like with the raised bands. Modern printing, of course, they don't need to use the raised bands anymore because they've perfected this, so the threads don't show. And here's a beautifully constructed book. Again, you can see the raised bands. Now sometimes you will find that this particular book I found when I was living in Asheville, North Carolina, and this was one of the 7-volume commentaries that John Owen wrote. And I picked up this book, and when I got it at home, you can see here that some of the pages hadn't been trimmed. And in order to read this, you had to get a knife and cut the book. You can see that this didn't line up. So the Geneva Bible that we are offering, has the individual signatures glued in as well as sewn in. These pages will not in any way come out. And again, it's hard for the typical consumer to know whether or not a Bible is sewn in signatures. There's only a few ways you can actually look to see that. And the way you can do that is by opening up the Bible like this, and you can see right in here where the holes are and where the thread has gone through. And the nice thing about this, when you have a Bible that's sewn in signatures, you can open it like this and spread it out without any fear of a book doing that and then splitting apart. So if you are interested in getting your copy of the Geneva Bible, Smythe sewn in signatures, you can go to AmericanVision.org and search for Geneva Bible. If you want more information about American Vision, you can go to AmericanVision.org. If you'd like to comment and ask some questions about the Geneva Bible and anything else American Vision does, you can email us at support@AmericanVision.org.